Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and this is Central Waters Bourbon Barrel Scotch Ale. This is part of their Brewer's Reserve, and so they do a barley wine and a stout. I've reviewed the stout before, and you also see that I mean, I didn't have these. These are just old bottles, but this is of the same style of Founders Backwoods Bastard and Thirsty Dog Wulver. I'll link you guys to the battle beers I did with these two. And this beer is another one of the styles, so I'm excited to dig in. By the way, I'll do a little quick little note about my trip to Vermont at the end of the video, so if you want to fast forward to that. So let's dig in this beer. This beer comes in a nice kind of like reddish copper, rusty color. Let's see the aroma on this. Quite nice. I get this kind of bourbon character. It's well integrated into a lot of sweetness, a lot of caramel, a lot of toffee. Good amount of like this juicy dark fruit, sort of like a dried plum that has been like rehydrated, so you sort of get the concentration of sweetness, but also that juiciness of that dark fruit action. A bit of like woody kind of hops. It's that like vanilla and slight kind of bourbon character. It's not like popping out at you that this is like clearly, it smells like there's whiskey or bourbon in here. It's sort of that integrated barrel action. Cheers. Quite nice. In the front, you're popped with a lot of sweetness. It's a lot of like caramel. It's the same as the nose. It's a lot of caramel, that juicy dark fruit, and that bourbon sweetness combined very well. This is one of these beers that does not sort of. There's a lot of beers that go, bourbon barrel and the beer, and there's sort of two flavors sort of fighting each other. And you get a lot of spiciness, you get a lot of alcohol, you get a lot of burning. It's very up in your face. This is one of those beers that the bourbon barrel has sort of taken a back seat and is very harmonious with the beer. It sort of gives you one note of this again, that sweetness, the bourbon, the dark fruit. It just like combines very well. And that sweetness sort of lingers on. But around a third of the palate or half the palate third, you get an aggressive amount of like earthy, woody bitterness. I imagine it's not simply from the oak. Oak, I imagine, generally for me, is like a lot more subtle. This more tastes like biting into a piece of wood, or like, the wood smell of an old attic. It's just like densely woody, or maybe like forest mulch or something. It's densely woody and earthy. It dries the palate very aggressively. You get that rush of sweetness in the front, and it does not really linger because that woody bitterness sort of just attacks and cleans off the palate. It makes the beer sort of have a lesser mouthfeel, so it's probably a medium mouthfeel. But still, I think it's actually a slightly more full beer than Founders Backwoods. It actually is a very similar beer to Backwoods Bastard because it has that note of, bourbon, sweetness, caramel, dark fruit, and then that aggressive kind of like woody bitterness kind of thing going on. This is one of the situations where I wish like I maybe opened a bottle of Backwoods Bastard to have against this. Personally, I don't think I'd be able to pick out the two because they're just quite similar beers. But still, I think this is slightly better, the Central Waters. I think it offers a little amount more of mouthfeel, hit more sweetness, and a little less woody kind of bitterness. Therefore, this is a really good beer. A 95 from me, just really good stuff, really well made. Can't complain. I still really do prefer the Wulver. I think that has been the best bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale I've ever had. But so that's a review. Anyway, so this is about now Vermont. So this week I will be going to Vermont. I'll be hitting up, hopefully getting some Heady Topper. Maybe I'll throw another review of that, even though I've probably inundated you guys with a lot of reviews of Heady Topper. Hill Farmstead, so awesome. New Hill Farmstead reviews coming up. I'll also be getting some Lawson, so new Lawson's coming up. Unfortunately, Mr. Lawson had a family death, so he won't be doing his monthly sale. Lawson's Find is one of the top 3, Vermont breweries. And it's the only real way to get like a decent amount of his beer is that you have to, every month he does a farmer's market where, you can sort of buy other goods from local vendors, but also you can buy beer from him personally. Unfortunately, I planned the trip, but then it was canceled this week. So we'll not be going to the market, but he's still releasing some of his beers to the stores. Unfortunately, we'll not be getting Double Sunshine, which I'm really excited about. Double Sunshine, as you might have seen before, is one of my favorite beers. Probably my favorite beer, actually. So I'll try to do as many of those random reviews. But question for you guys: what do you guys want to see for my trip? Obviously, I'll take some pictures. So you guys, if you want to see a gallery of random pictures, you can see what you're getting into if you go to Vermont. I can do some maybe some. I'll probably plan on doing some reviews at the condo that we've rented. So hopefully, be drinking some really, really fresh beer just when we got it at the condo in Vermont. And I actually can maybe even do a vlog if you want. Sort of like show you a vlog of like what these breweries look like, that kind of thing, or the process and whatever. I also will be going to a couple, Vermont breweries that are not as well known as the top three of Hill Farmstead, Alchemist, and Lawson's. Lost Nation, I think, Fiddlehead will be hitting up. So hopefully I'll be bringing you guys some like awesome Vermont beers that are not just, the super famous, well-known ones. So yeah, I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys want to see, what you guys, are interested in. And so until next time, guys, cheers. Later. This is Darwin. Later.